Have you ever thought about how to be the best version of yourself in relationships? A lot of people do, because deep down, we all want love, respect, and to be truly valued by those around us. But how do we get this? How do we earn real value? Admiration, not just for our outer qualities or accomplishments, but for who we are at our core. Imagine that every relationship is an adventure, and that you are the explorer of your own soul. You want to find the hidden treasures in your soul and share them with others, but you need a map to help you get there. Today, I will help you find your true value in a relationship by using 9 ancient Stoic quotes. Stoics thought that we should focus on what we can change, and guess what? You have full control over your own self-worth. It's not about how many likes you get on Instagram or if someone likes you back. It's about how you see and value yourself. Imagine that you are a diamond. Some people might walk by a rare gem without realizing how valuable it is, but that doesn't change the gem's value. It's still precious, rare, and one of a kind. Similarly, your value doesn't change just because someone ignores it. Let's be honest. We've all been rejected and felt inadequate, especially in today's world where everyone seems to be doing well. But here's the truth with a Stoic attitude. Your worth doesn't depend on what other people say about you. It comes from how you act, your principles, and your actions. Are you kind, honest, and living in a way that fits with your values? That's where your real worth lies. Stoics believed in thinking about oneself, so take a moment to think about the good things about you. You'll find strength in the inner parts of relationships, not just the obvious ones. In relationships, it's about finding strength in your own value and self-worth, even if other people don't see it. Remember that realizing your worth isn't a one-time thing. It's a journey that lasts a lifetime and a practice that changes over time. It means waking up every day and telling yourself that you are valuable, not because of what other people think, but because of the things that make you unique. Second lesson. Take a moment to treat yourself with respect. Before you imagine a stern, unsmiling Lesson 2 student in this role, let me clear the air. Stoicism isn't about hiding your feelings or not caring. It's about knowing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. And guess what? The way you present yourself deserves your attention. So let's talk about what it means to present yourself with dignity in relationships. Have you ever noticed that sometimes we go to great lengths to impress someone, but in the process we lose sight of who we really are? We change how we dress and talk in order to get their approval. One student is showy and uses big words and motions to get people's attention, while the other student stays calm and talks with confidence. Which student do you think makes a lasting impression? Usually, it's the one who is genuine and at ease in their own skin, right? This shows how important it is to present yourself with respect. The Stoics, who were known for their ideas about self-control and virtue, stressed how important it was to be honest and respect oneself. So how does this apply to dating today? It's simple. Be yourself. If you love reading, say so. If you have a strong passion for something, let it show. It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about being comfortable and sure of who you are and knowing that you are valuable just the way you are. In point, respecting yourself. How you treat yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. If you're always criticizing yourself, you're basically telling others they can do the same. But when you respect yourself and value your time, energy, and emotions, you're making a strong statement. I expect to be treated with respect because I earn it. Epictetus, a wise Stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you that matters in relationships, but how you react to it. It's not just about how you look or what you say. It's also about how you act in different situations. Are you reacting with desperation or dignity? Are you giving up your values to fit in, or are you staying true to yourself even if it means standing alone?" This doesn't require perfection. We all have flaws and times when things don't go as planned. It's how you handle those times that matter. Do you break down when things get tough, Or do you stay strong, learn, and keep going? Let's stop and think about how we can start to treat ourselves with more respect. It might mean setting clear limits, or saying no to things that don't fit with our values. Treating ourselves with more kindness and respect could also mean that. If you think you deserve respect, others will start to see it too. Third lesson, how to use body language. Lesson 3, talking to people. I know this may sound a little old-fashioned or strict at first, but please hear me out. It's not about being hard to talk to. It's about knowing your worth and loving yourself. What does Stoicism say about this? Stoicism teaches us how to stay strong and in control, but not in a boring or strict way. It's about knowing what's important and not giving it away too easily in a world where everyone wants everything right away and scrolls forever. When we're in a relationship or just getting to know someone, we often feel rushed to share everything with them. Our time, space, and deepest feelings. But Stoics would tell you to take a step back. They say this because when something is always available, it loses its uniqueness. It's just how humans are. If you're always there for someone when they need you, saying yes to everything, where's the fun, the mystery? Looking forward to, let's talk about how to politely break rules. The tough way. First, it starts with how you look. Dressing stylishly but modestly sends a message that says, I respect myself. You're not hiding who you are, but you're also not revealing everything right away either. It's about finding balance and saying, there's more to me than what you see. Another important part is managing your time and focus. In today's hyper-connected world, choosing who gets your time is an important choice. It's not about playing games. It's about reaffirming that my time is valuable and that I carefully choose how to spend it. When you're with someone, be fully present and engaged. When you're not, it's okay to be unreachable and focus on your own life goals and personal growth. According to Stoicism, emotional self-mastery is also important. It doesn't mean being cold or disconnected. Instead, it means keeping a balanced view. This means not letting small things bother you too much. It means staying calm and peaceful. You shouldn't give your emotional energy to everyone. It should be earned just like your time and attention. I'm not saying you should stop caring about other people or act like a Stoic statue. We're all human, and real relationships are important for a happy life. But there's something special about taking things slowly. It's about making links that aren't just about getting what you want right away. It's about building deep, lasting relationships that go beyond instant gratification and quick fixes. It is important to remember that setting limits is not about controlling things or playing games. Respecting yourself and sticking to your values means showing others through words and actions that you deserve to be treated with respect. So let's be a little more selective, composed, and stoic in how we approach our relationships. It's about finding a balance between being open and careful, between sharing and holding back a bit, and trust me, it has a big effect on how others see and treat you. Cheers to Val, putting on a tough face when meeting today. Lesson 4. Let's be ready to walk away with a strong will. In Lesson 4, we learned how to let go without being distant or uncaring by knowing what we can change and what we can't. One of the most empowering things we can do is choose whether to stay or walk away from a situation that doesn't serve our well-being. This is especially true in relationships. We've all been there where we know we deserve better, but choose to stay because we're afraid of being alone. This doesn't mean you should give up when things get tough. Relationships take work, time, and understanding. But it's important to know your values and self-worth so well that you're ready to move on when something fundamentally goes against them. It's about having the inner strength and courage to affirm, I value myself too much to accept less than what I deserve. Let's look into this idea more. You have to respect yourself to be ready to leave a situation. This means standing up for what you believe in and knowing your own worth. Leaving doesn't have to be a big deal all the time. Sometimes it's just a quiet choice, a peaceful understanding that this isn't right for you. I get that. Not knowing what the future holds can be scary, but remember our Stoic friends. They taught us how to be strong in difficult situations and accept life's unknowns. Realizing that letting go of things that don't help you on your path is sometimes the bravest thing you can do can change everything when you're in a relationship, and learn that you're there because it fits your values, not because you're afraid to leave. This is a game changer that changes the whole dynamic. You're not staying out of desperation or fear. You're staying because it's your real choice. And here's the important thing. When you bravely leave something that doesn't serve you, you make room for something that does. It's like clearing out the past to make room for the future. It's about believing that better things are waiting for you and giving yourself the chance to find them. Let's remember that being ready to move on doesn't mean being cold or uncaring. It means loving and respecting ourselves enough to say, I deserve something better. It means being strong when problems come up and knowing that our worth doesn't depend on other people or things. Setting limits is the fifth lesson. Fifth lesson. Be quiet. Stoicism stresses that deeds, not words, are more important. The Stoics believed that actions should speak louder than words. This is especially true when talking about setting limits in relationships. It's one thing to say what your boundaries are, but it's much more powerful to show them through your actions. Think about it. It's easy to say what your boundaries are. I won't put up with mistreatment, but the real test is whether you will stand firm or give in when you see it. True strength isn't in words, but in deeds. I know this isn't easy. It can be hard, especially when emotions are involved. But let's remember what the Stoics said. We have the choice of how to react to things. When someone crosses a boundary, it's not just your words that set and enforce that boundary. For example, if honesty is one of your core values and someone lies to you, how you react shows how serious you are about your boundaries. Whether you choose to calmly address the issue or decide to step back, your actions show how committed you are to your values. Displaying self-respect by acting in a way that is in line with your beliefs is what it's all about. This can really make a difference in relationships. When people see that you have clear boundaries and are ready to stick to them, they get a better idea of what you will and won't put up with. It's about developing self-respect and sticking to it. Let's look at a basic idea in a straightforward way. It's not just the big events that matter, but also the little things that happen every day. If your plans change at the last minute, or someone doesn't value you enough, how do you react? Do you ignore it, or calmly let them know that their behavior is not acceptable? This is where Stoic mindfulness comes in. It's about paying attention to the present moment and how you react to it. Are your actions in line with your limits? As you go about your day and talk to other people, it's important to pay attention to the little things, because that's when your limits are really put to the test. When we set limits, let's try to be a little stoic. It's not about being stubborn or unyielding. It's about having an inner guide that tells us how to act and react. Trust me, when you take this method, you'll see results. People begin to notice that you set limits and are willing to stick to them because you value yourself enough to do so. Lesson 6. What you do speaks louder. Literature. Sixth lesson. What we've learned about Stoicism is that it means judging people by what they do, not just what they say. In our world, a lot of people say nice things but don't do what they say. This is especially true in relationships. Stoics tell us to see through the charm and focus on actions instead. Stoics tell us to pay attention to actions, because actions reveal what is real. It's easy for someone to say everything perfectly, make promises, and paint a picture of a future that seems flawless. But are they actually doing what they say? Are their actions supporting their words? That's where the truth lies. Let's be honest. Haven't we all met someone who said amazing things, and we were enchanted? But as time goes on, their actions show that they weren't credible. Being logical and seeing things as they really are is important. When someone's actions don't match their words, that's a warning sign. It's like the universe is telling you, hey, pay attention, something isn't right here. This way of thinking changes how you deal with relationships. Instead of being swept away by promises and nice words, you start to notice small things like how they act. Under pressure. Do they keep their word? Are they there for you in more ways than just words? It's interesting that when you pay attention to what people do instead of what they say, you set a standard. You're telling them, I'm not just listening to your words, I'm watching your actions. And that really makes an impression. They realize they can't just talk their way into your life. They have to prove they're real and worthy of your trust. But remember that this isn't about being negative or doubting everyone. It's about being smart about protecting your feelings. Being insightful means not letting your feelings get the best of you and staying grounded. So let's remember to pay attention to actions, not just words. Let's approach love with a calm, reasonable, observant, and thoughtful attitude, because actions speak louder than words in the end. Lesson 7. How to develop a healthy doubt. Stoicism and reality go hand in hand. Stoics thought that we should see things as they really are, not as we would like them to be. Being appropriately skeptical is like having a superpower. It doesn't mean being negative or suspicious. It means staying realistic and not believing everything someone says. This can be especially helpful when you're dating or in a relationship. Let's say you meet someone new and they seem great. They say lots of nice things and even talk about a future together, but it's only been a short time. Your skeptical Stoic mind would tell you to take it easy, see if their actions match their words, and watch how things go. It's like a gentle reality check urging you not to get swept away in romance and to stay grounded and mindful. This skepticism isn't about bombarding the other person with questions or doubting their every move. Instead, it's about being thoughtful. It means not only listening to what they say, but also observing their actions. It involves taking the time to truly understand someone to see if they're consistent and genuine. The Stoics emphasized using logic and reason, not just being carried away by emotions in relationships. This approach is crucial. When emotions dominate, we may overlook important details, but when we combine our feelings with a dose of skepticism and logical thinking, we enable ourselves to see things more clearly. And here's another important aspect. It's about safeguarding your heart. By maintaining a bit of skepticism, you're not rushing into something without certainty. You're allowing yourself the opportunity to grasp the true nature of the other person, rather than projecting your desires onto them. So let's keep in mind the importance of adopting a hint of Stoic skepticism. It's about being intelligent, attentive, and not letting emotions carry us away. It's about protecting ourselves and our emotional well-being. It's not about shutting ourselves off, but about approaching new opportunities with careful consideration and wisdom. Lesson 8. How to say no. It's important to stay true to your ideals and have the courage to be yourself, as taught in Lesson 8. This is especially important when it comes to relationships, because it means knowing what you believe and not being afraid to stick to your standards, even if it causes problems. For example, if you're in a relationship and your partner suggests doing something that doesn't feel good to you, it could be moving too quickly or asking you to do something that goes against your values. It might seem like the easy thing to do, but this is where your tough mentality comes in handy. Saying no in these situations is all about respecting yourself, your beliefs, and your limits. The little voice in your head keeps telling you that this isn't easy. It can be really hard, especially if you care about the person. What if saying no turns them off? We're whispering. But here's the thing. We need to get brave. Stoicism isn't just about dealing with problems in the outside world. It's also about dealing with problems inside our own heads. A firm no shows that you value yourself and won't settle for less than what you earn. Of course, there's a chance you could lose them, but that's not the point. The point is that you're showing that you respect yourself. If someone gets upset when you say no to something that goes against your ideals, they probably weren't the right person for you in the first place. Taking this stance can really change the dynamics of a relationship. When someone sees that you're not afraid to say no and that you won't bend your values to please them, it changes how they see you. It shows that you have self-respect and value yourself, which is very attractive. And here's another Stoic view. Saying no isn't just about setting boundaries with others. It's also about being honest with yourself. Lesson 9. Don't always chase value. This fits well with everything we've been talking about in Lesson 9, especially when we look at it from a Stoic point of view. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. When we think about relationships, this idea has a big impact. It means understanding that chasing after someone who is moving away from us is not only pointless, but it also goes against knowing our own worth. Let's say you're meeting someone and things are going well, but then they start pulling away. Our first instinct, which we've all felt, is to run after them to try to close the gap. But Stoicism can help us do that. Instead, Stoics would ask, why are you pursuing something that you can't control? The answer lies in your sense of self-worth, your sense of dignity, and your peace of mind. Trying to hold on to someone who is pulling away is like trying to catch water in your hands. It doesn't work and makes you feel empty. The Stoic method tells you to be strong in your self-worth. It's not about being cold or unfeeling to let someone go. It's about realizing that you can't change how other people feel or act, but you can change how you react. Let's face it, this isn't easy. It takes a lot of inner strength to resist the urge to check up on someone. It's believing that if someone really values you, they will show it. It's refusing to let someone else's behavior affect you. Define your worth. It makes you feel good. This way of thinking changes everything. It gives you control over your feelings and actions. You're no longer dependent on other people's unpredictable actions. It's freeing and empowering. And here's the best part. When you stop chasing other people and start investing in your own life and growth, wonderful things start to happen. You naturally attract people who are similar to you. We should find peace within ourselves instead of looking for approval from others. As we come to the end of our conclusion conversation today, I want you to remember something very important. Your self-worth is like the brightest thread that binds everything together, just like the Stoics thought. You can choose how to react to what happens around you. Don't forget that you are in charge of your own honor and self-esteem. Embrace your inner peace. Click on it, and let's keep going on this journey together. Thanks for joining me in this talk. Remember that you're not going through this journey by yourself. We're all figuring it out together, one step at a time, until our next chat. Remember to be careful, smart, and to keep accepting your inner calm.